Have you ever just looked at a word like through or though or tough and just thought, what is even happening here? Yeah, you're definitely not alone. The English language, it's this beautiful, kind of chaotic mess of spelling and pronunciation rules that, let's be honest, often feel like they make zero sense. So we're going to dive in and become linguistic detectives, uncovering the clues that explain why English sounds the way it does.
You know, this right here is from a famous poem called The Chaos. It was written over 100 years ago just to show how wonderfully bizarre English pronunciation is. And wow, does it capture that feeling of trying to make sense of words that look like they should rhyme but just don't?
So that really is our central mystery, right? Why is the link between what we write and what we say in English so all over the place? Well, it turns out it's not just random. There are real reasons behind the madness. So let's put on our detective hats and start searching for some clues. Okay, our very first clue has to do with the ghosts hiding in our words, silent letters. And no, they're not mistakes. Think of them more like linguistic fossils, little echoes of a time long, long ago, just hanging out in plain sight. A silent letter is, well, exactly what it sounds like. I mean, think about the K in the word no, or the B in thumb. They're right there on the page, but when we actually speak, poof, they disappear. They are everywhere in English, and they are our first big clue in this whole investigation. Now, you might think these silent letters are totally useless, but they actually have a really important job. A lot of the time, they help us tell the difference between homophones, words that sound exactly the same but mean totally different things. I mean, without that silent K, how would we tell a night from the night when we're writing? So where in the world did these ghosts come from? Well, hundreds of years ago, back in Old English, people actually said these letters out loud. That K in knight, which became night, wasn't silent at all. But then the printing press came along in the 15th century and basically locked in all the spellings. So as our accents changed and our speech softened over the centuries, the pronunciation changed, but the spelling, it was already set in stone. So we've seen how history literally left its mark on our words. But the weirdness isn't just a thing of the past. Sometimes it's actively built right into our grammar, creating these words that are like little shapeshifters. Let's check out our next clue. These shapeshifters have a technical name, heteronyms. Same spelling, but they totally change their sound and their meaning depending on how you use them. This isn't about ancient history. This is about what the word is doing in the sentence right now. So what's the secret pattern here? It's all about the stress. It's about which part of the word you emphasize. When these words are nouns, the stress hits that first syllable. Record, desert, object. But watch what happens when they become verbs. The stress shifts to the second syllable. Record, desert, object. It's such a subtle little thing, but it's a powerful rule that completely changes the word. Okay, so we've found ghosts from the past and we've found shapeshifters in the present. But our final clue, this one, is the most important of all. It's the secret sound that holds the entire rhythm of spoken English together. It is so common that you use it all the time, but you might have never even heard its name. So just think about it for a second. What do you think it is? Is it the A in apple? Or maybe the E in egg? Or O in octopus? Nope, it's none of those. It's this sound, and its name is the schwa. It's this lazy, super relaxed, really short sound. You make it when your mouth is just totally neutral. That's it. And that little sound is the most common sound in all of spoken English. Wild, right? But here's the real secret to the schwa. Here's what makes it so important. You only find it in the parts of a word that we don't emphasize. It's the whole reason English has that particular rhythm, that beat of stressed and unstressed syllables. We kind of rush over the unstressed parts, and their vowels just get reduced to this simple little sound. And what's so amazing about the schwa is that it can be spelled with literally any vowel. It's the in about, the in problem, the I in pencil, the O in photograph. It's like this little chameleon hiding everywhere, in pretty much every word that has more than one syllable. It is the secret engine that makes English pronunciation work. So let's put all the pieces together, shall we? This chaos that we see in English pronunciation, it's not really chaos at all. It's more like a living museum, a record of centuries of change, all frozen in time by its spelling. We started with the ghosts, right? The silent letters that are really just fossils of an older language. Then we found the shapeshifters, the heteronyms, where grammar itself changes the sound. And finally, we uncovered the schwa,
the secret sound that dictates the entire rhythm of the language. So, what feels like a flaw, this inconsistency, is actually one of the language's coolest features. Every weird spelling, every odd pronunciation, it tells a story. A story of invasions, of people migrating, of new technologies, and just the natural way speech evolves over 1,000 years.
And that kind of leaves us with one last thing to think about. If we decided to fix it all, to make every single word sound exactly how it's spelled, what stories, what connections to our past, and what beautiful chaotic history would we end up erasing?